Day in, day out, you work hard, fall asleep, wake up, repeat. Fall asleep, work hard, wake up, repeat. These are things that are not taught to people of lower income. People of lower income are never taught these 5 habits that rich people teach their parents right from the beginning. Speaking as someone with this view, at 25, there's a lot that has actually changed in my life. And this is the way I was thinking when I was 19, 18, starting my first job, or starting the first time I was ever trying to actually make money. I didn't have good habits. Good habits didn't come for me naturally. Good habits almost come for nobody naturally. This is something you build over time. And you can skip through the video and just look at the 5 things plus the one bonus thing I mentioned at the end that helped me get rich, but I'm going to give you lessons from my real life that have actually changed the way I think about money and the way I actually make money and understand it at a high level now. Habit number 1, I had a fairly low risk tolerance. My risk tolerance was, quite frankly, non-existent. I was 18, I had maybe $5,000 to my name. That is not much to make a living. That's not much to start a business. That's not much for almost anything. I was gifted a hand-me-down car, and I had a job, and I was going to school. I needed to make money, and you have to risk money to make money, usually at the beginning, or you can just hone your skills and get better at things, but quite frankly, at 18, 19, I didn't have the patience, and I didn't have the time, so I needed to make money. My first purchase back then was maybe $2,000 worth of sneakers, which was very popular at the time. Reselling sneakers was a very, very popular thing to do, just like reselling like fake AirPods, things like that. It was just kind of like a trend that people fell into. And, it wasn't like I wasn't making no money. I was definitely profiting. I wasn't profiting like $1 billion, but I risked, I'm going to say 2/5 of my entire net worth on sneakers. And on some of those, I got burned. I got scammed. I lost some money. I was devastated. And that put fear in my heart for a while about buying new sneakers. But then I realized if I don't continue to take risk, nothing will change in my life, and I will still be working the same serving job. I will still be going to the same school. I will have not built any wealth. So I had to learn to start taking bigger risks. I didn't risk all my money, but with all the profits, I reinvested into the business, and it started to grow slowly but steadily. My first page was called Juiced Up Kicks. I'll put a picture of the page on. It's still up, and I was making really good money. I started making good connections, and I was learning really what it took to make it in business, which was not taught to me. I didn't learn it in school either. I learned it through firsthand experience, how to make money. And not just how to make it, but also how to make it work for you. To do that, though, I had to take a leap of faith. I had to take a risk, and everyone around me thought it was silly, thought it was dumb. I was telling people I'm going to make $5,000 a month reselling sneakers. A lot of people laughed at me. And my closest friends from when I was young, I invited them, hey, do you want to try this? I have some time after school. You have some time after school. We can do this. We can make something work. They all rejected me because they were all too busy. Or, quite frankly, they were scared to take a risk. But without that risk, without that one idea I had, this wouldn't have happened. This whole view, this setup, nothing would have happened. I had to learn how to take a risk. I had to learn how to do things without being scared of the outcome. I understand the downside. I understand the upside. And if I understand both of those components, I can make a calculated effort on where to put my money. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's always worth trying, because through trial and error, you get something that is worth more than just money. That's experience, and that's knowledge. It sounds corny, it sounds cheesy, but it's true. You get knowledge, you get experience, you get everything you bargain for when you start taking risk. Number 2, one of my bad habits. I was young. When you're young, skill stacking doesn't mean anything to you. Skill stacking doesn't exist. That's not something that is in your vocabulary. Like, what are you talking about skill stacking? I'm freshly 18. The only skill I have is texting girls on Snapchat. But as you progress, as you get older, skills begin to compound. Skills begin to evolve. Skills are no longer just this ambiguous, strange thought you have in your head. Skills are something that is monetizable. Skills are everything. Because without skills, and without the ability to stack these skills, you are no better than when you first started. Skills are the lifeline to your business. Being able to negotiate, being able to understand value, being able to understand the investment you're making is going to be worth so much more, because then you don't have to hire people for it. You don't have to struggle all the time. You're now able to fundamentally change the way businesses run for you. Because now it's not just, oh, I have to figure out this new problem. If you have the skill, the problem's already figured out. You just need to find the time to make it work. And if you're able to negotiate, if you're able to profit off of somebody else's mistake, if you are able to understand value better than the next person, you will make more money, undoubtedly. But that's just something you have to go through. And skill stacking doesn't come overnight. It takes a lot of time. A lot of time. Next would be refusal to delegate. At 19, I started to get busy with the sneaker reselling. And at that time, there was no such thing as impersonation on Instagram, so you couldn't give someone else your login without giving them full access to your Instagram. And since I had no one around me I started the business with, trust was very hard to come by for someone freshly 18 and your entire net worth is in a few pair of Jordan sneakers, right? So without trust, I had, to say the least, nothing. I had nobody around me that could help me out that I knew would do a great job or as good of a job as me. So, just like anyone in my position, I didn't delegate anything. And eventually the work became too much. The work was a lot for me, especially someone still working a full-time job, going to school. I was in between waiting tables in the bathroom negotiating my own sneaker deals. It was the hardest time of my life. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It was probably the worst thing I've ever had to go through. But it was something that I needed to go through to become who I am today. Without that experience, I never would have understood the value of a good team, nor how to find a good team. That's important. A good team is worth more than your time, because a good team will keep your business running while you're not keeping it running. Now, if you understand business and if you know you can't leave your business alone 2 days without it falling apart, then you're not a business owner. You're just another employee. Learning how to delegate, learning how to give tasks to other people was the turning point where I was like, okay, I don't have to do these menial tasks. My time is more valuable in other places. And I had to figure out what those places were. And quite shortly, I did figure out where those places were, where my time was valued, where I was needed. Because you're not needed in every facet of your business. No one is ever needed in every facet of their business. So you need to figure out, where is my highest return? Is it in negotiating? Is it in sales? Is it customer service? Where am I needed the most? Who do I need to value the most in this business? Who is the most important? And in your business, the person that's always the most important is you. Knowing that allowed me to free up a lot of time just to breathe. And unfortunately, my first business was never, ever able to benefit from the delegation that I had done because I had to quit it. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't sacrifice the time, nor the mental energy, nor anything. I had nothing left to give, and I had no one else left to give tasks to. So, my refusal to delegate ruined my first business. Not only ruined it, it completely inhibited me from growing at the rate that I absolutely needed to. And if I had never learned that, I would have gotten a job and done nothing else, just like everyone else. Next would be, I handled rejection very poorly. I took no as a final answer from most people. Going through sales, post this first business, you learn very quickly no is an objection. Now, if you're talking to girls, whatever. But if I'm talking about business, something I quickly learned, everything is negotiable. There is not one thing that is not negotiable in business. Everything has a price or has something that they need or want from you. All you have to do is find it, give it to them, and you make a boatload of money. If you don't know how to handle rejection, or you take no as a no, and that's a final answer for you, you won't make it very far. You will not. Because no is very seldom a no. No is something that is given to you because you are missing something fundamentally that they want from you that you are not providing. Find what that is, get through that objection, and try to work through it. And if it is undoubtedly a no, move on to the next one. Don't dwell on that too much. Just because it was a good opportunity that could have changed your life doesn't mean that that was everything, that you can't find a new one next week. Once in a lifetime opportunities happen once a year once you understand what those opportunities look like. And lastly, for this one, no patience. I lacked patience, just like any rational 18-year-old does. I didn't want it later. I wanted it now. And that's understandable. You're young. You don't know what it's like to wait a decade. You barely know what it's like to wait 4 hours for lunch. But money does take time. Skill stacking is not something that happens overnight. Wealth building, investment knowledge, none of these skills happen overnight. They stack over time. Money is built over years and months of trial and tribulation. Money's not built in a couple sessions, day trading on the NASDAQ. I wish it was. Life would have been a lot easier for me had it been that way. But unfortunately, it's not. Life is far more complex. Money is far more nuanced than you need it to be. And as I promised, there is a bonus. The bonus is feeling ashamed of your ambition. You don't need to tell everyone about your ambition, but everyone around you will look at you crazy when you start something new. When you say, yeah, I want to be a millionaire, they're going to laugh at you because everyone's tried it once. Everyone's tried to make more money. But the difference between them and you is that they'll shame you for trying something that they failed at because they don't see anything past what was in front of them. They went through a lot of roadblocks. They couldn't handle it. You can tell people of your ambition, and when they scoff and laugh at you, at first, I was absolutely devastated. I thought everyone should have believed in me. I thought it was possible, and I thought they would support me. Seldom do people support you, especially people of lower income. But a business owner will never judge you for starting your first business. Now, if someone judges you for starting your first business, just know that is a person that has given up on their ambition. That is the person that's given up and resigned their ability to make a better life and more money for themselves. You should never feel ashamed of your ambition, no matter what people tell you. What you want to do is possible. It might not happen right away, and people might laugh at you for it. But everything's only funny until it works. You like what you saw, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See ya.